If you want to serve well and make problems for your opponent on serve reception, your serve has to meet a lot of requirements and parameters. And you know yourself that you make a lot of mistakes when you serve. Mistakes you need to avoid. That's why I've got 9 important advice for you to take your serve to a level similar to a professional player's. I've experienced the power of a very good serve firsthand several times. When I played against Brazil at the World Championship, their players went after me. They served into me and soon Murillo sent me to the bench with his 117 km fast flying jump serve that flew out of my body. The serve is a huge weapon, not just in professional volleyball, but how do you make the serve your big weapon too? What do you need to do? How do the best players in the world serve? Where to serve? How to think about serving? Here are my advice which will fundamentally help you to improve your serve. A lot of players think that a good serve means serving a lot of aces, but that's a mistake. A lot of aces also means a lot of risk and a lot of mistakes. I recommend you to change this mentality and mindset. Rather think about every serve your opponent receives beyond 3 meters. Then you have done your job, because when your opponent has received a serve beyond 3 meters, he will already play more predictably and slower, and your team can take advantage of that. Mika Christensen talked about this situation when the reception is further away from the net on our VolleyCountry podcast. Also, this philosophy on the serve when your goal is to force your opponent to receive beyond 3 meters means you don't have to take 100% risk and either expect an error or an ace. When you serve, you make a mistake. Every player makes sometimes a mistake on serve. It's just that if you keep serving on the edge of the risk, trying to make the fastest flying serve possible, you are going to make a lot of mistakes. And no coach likes to see you have a 50% error rate on your serve. Also, you can count on the fact that if you miss 1 or 2 risky serves, you'll start serving easy serves and your opponent will take advantage of that right away. I know this from my personal experience. When I missed my 2 opening serves in a match, I then gave an easy jump serve and my opponent got an easy point after the reception and attack, as well as after my mistake. For this reason, consistency is very important. It's better to give 10 serves at 80% and make 1 error than to have a 50% error rate when serving at 100%. When you play, you think about a lot of things. You want to receive well, hit or block. And quite often we bring those thoughts to our serve. You know it yourself. You go to serve, but in your head you are still thinking, why didn't I score that last attack? What did I do wrong? The same thing can pop up in your head when you go to serve and you think about your bad previous serve. Why did my serve go into the net? The best players literally reset their heads before every serve. Every serve is the same for them. It doesn't matter if they have given 3 aces a moment ago, or if they have made 2 errors in a row, or if the score is 2-2 or 15-15 in tiebreak. The best players always reset their head before every serve. Take a deep breath, project in their head how they will give a quality serve, and most importantly, think positive. Don't think about the mistake. In a match, you are not only playing against your opponents, but also against their coach. Of course, their coach can stand in the court and receive your serve. On the other hand, the opponent's coach often tries to get the serving player out of rhythm by taking a timeout. Coaches are foxes. They wait and just before you start preparing to serve and the referee whistles, they take a timeout. Their goal is for you, the serving player, to have as long a break as possible before you serve so that you have time to think. Their goal is clear. They want you to make an error on your serve or to serve an easy serve. And in this situation, you shouldn't help them. Always try to serve after the timeout. If you don't make an error on serve, your opponent has to win the point with his own action. And that's what you want. They are trying to get the point and you have a chance to defend it. The more of these chances you have after a timeout, the more points you can score. A series is more than an ace. Yes, I get it. Everyone wants to score aces, be famous and proud of their great serves. And I have experienced it myself. I was on serve, I made a solid serve. Our team defended the opponent's attack and then we got a point. I was like, damn, I didn't make an ace, I didn't score a point. I need to push harder on my serve. I need to take more risk, and then what happened? I didn't make the ace and the error came. Instead, my mind should have stayed calm, knowing that we got a point after my first serve. I should have served again with a similar solid serve and waited for the next defensive opportunity or error from my opponent. Simply in my eyes, a series on serve is more than an ace. A series on serve when your team gets 3 to 4 points is excellent, and you should play for the team as well. If you are on the serve, you want to make a series. You may also feel or see that your opponent is not attacking effectively. You should want to serve with the goal of getting as many series on serve as possible from each player, and then you have a great chance to win not only the set but also the match. How many times do you attack in a training session? 20 times? 50 times? And what chance do your attacks have to win a point? If you have a good set against a single block, you have more than 50% chance to get a point. So if you hit 20 times from good sets during a match, you can make 10 or more points. On serve, we often think the same way. We want to score a point, but the chances of making an ace or even 10 aces is much smaller. Nobody gives an ace every second serve. But we don't care about aces. It's about the opponent's reception beyond 3 meters. And even here, I think you have at most a 30% chance if you serve against good passing players. That means that for 10 inaccurate receptions behind the 3 meter, you theoretically need to serve at least 30 times. It's just that in practice we usually spend much more time with attacking. We don't serve as much as we attack. So spend more time serving because we also don't have 50 opportunities to serve in a game. We need to get the most out of our 10 to 20 serves in a match. The advantage is that you don't need anyone else to do basic serve practice. You can serve for 10 more minutes on your own after practice and make 20 good serves. The biggest enemy of any volleyball player, if you'll excuse the opposing team, is the net. Yes, the net puts up a barrier that we often crash on. And when I see someone serve make 8 service errors during a match and 7 end up in the net, I don't like it very much. Sure, if you are taking maximum risk on your serve, your team is maybe losing and you are aware of the risk, your serve may end up in the net. It's just that a lot of errors into the net is wrong. A net means the end of the rally and point for the opponent. And again, you don't give your opponent a chance to make a mistake. That's why I recommend you always try to serve over the net. Sometimes even a ball flying into the out will be received by your opponent. If the ball goes into the net, it's game over and point for the opponent. When we play volleyball, we want to win. We want to play our best and at the same time we look for the opponent's weaknesses. And every opponent, even at the highest level, has a weakness. It's the same with serving or receiving. Why would you serve your good serve to a libero who is usually the best receiving player? Why not to try to bother with your serve, for example, the front outside hitter? I think you know where I am going with this. If you know yourself or your coach has told you that the outside hitter on the other side of the net is not very strong on reception, then send all your serves to that weakness. Your goal is to make him busy, overhaul him, tire him out, make him pass inaccurately so your team can benefit from it. And if we are talking about the serve, you know the drill. You know what you are good at, what you can do. For example, I wasn't very good at jump serves from zone 1 to zone 5. I just made mistakes and my serves often flew off the court. Instead, I was serving more to the middle of the court and into zone 1. Those were my strong directions. You'll be similar. If you have a preferred zone, a place where you make a quality, consistent serve, then serve there often. Sure, sometimes a libero will be standing there and your serve will be accurately received. On the other hand, you will have a consistent serve into that zone, and from that will then arise a greater chance for your quality serve, your opponent's imperfect reception, ineffective offense, and your ability to successfully defend and then attack to win a point. And one more thing I forgot, don't make those 20 errors on your serve. If you avoid them and take some of these 10 advice, I guarantee you will get much more out of your serve and you will become a better volleyball player. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.